Jenna, with Jenna. 11, with Jenna. Right now. 11, with Jenna, with Jenna. It's 11. Ooh, you're gonna call right now.
Ooh, don't press the wrong button. I almost turned off the whole Zoom show. What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, August 10th, and it is 11:11 p.m. 11:11 p.m. on the East Coast. 9:11 some places, 10:11 other places, 8:11 some places. You know, that's just how it is. It's just how it rolls. 6:11 in some places. But I'm here 5:11 in the morning. I am here right now. It's 11:12 right this very second. Lillian's sitting right next to me on the floor in her, well, not on the floor, in her throne. And it's so strange. I always say this. Whenever I am not on here and, not like while I'm out of town or somewhere else, but when I'm not here and I go away, I go, wait, what do I do? How do I do this? What do I do? So, right, I have to go to Facebook. Then I have to find, thank you, Patty. Thank you, Patty. Patty. Thank you. And then I go, and then I don't see why this really makes a difference, but it seems to. So then I edit it, and I make it public. And I'm wondering if you can hear me, because I can hear me. I looked over, and I could check Julie Luce, Patty Lohman, William D. Lindemann. That's all I need. The rest of it's just like, well, it's all a gift. And I'm happy the three of you are here. Anyway, I was going to say it's Wednesday night, but it's not. Mario, hi. Good. Well, I learned something tonight. I selected a different microphone movement thing, and thank you, Andy. Oh, good. Does it louder, William? Is it as clear as it was, but not like yesterday? Because last night they couldn't hear me. But is it a little bit better, I think? Just say yes. Just say yes. Sounds great. Can you hear the thunder and lightning? I think if I open this window, let me just open it just like the littlest bit. It's louder? Oh, good. You're not worn out for Sunday. That's how I survive. It's like a transfusion when I perform. For me, is what it makes me feel like. Anyway, crickets, thunder. There was 40 minutes ago, half hour ago, crazy storm came through here. Like, wow. Not now. It's totally chill. Last night was like being in a movie. William, did you get that? I mean, it thundered and lightninged for 7-8 hours, nonstop. Oh, good. Well, I'll just say it like I usually do. My name is Jenna. This is 11:11 with Jenna. I'm here every day, 7 days, 7 nights, 14 times a week. Right here on 11:11 with Jenna on Facebook. And William D. Lindemann picks this up and, he keeps it on Facebook and then puts it on YouTube. So if you're watching me on YouTube right now, hi YouTube fans, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. And then something magically happens. I don't know what. But you're a good girl. Yes, you are. Yes, you are a good girl. Okay, so it is Tuesday. Tomorrow morning, I'm going for a walk. We walk on Wednesdays. Tomorrow night, usually cookies and conversation and cocktails with someone. But I don't know if she's going to be here tomorrow night. Somebody... You guys want to have cocktails tomorrow night? I'll have a cocktail with you tomorrow night, and we'll hang out on the show. And we won't talk about cannolis. And then Thursday morning, maybe Michael. I know. I keep doing rain dance. And then Thursday morning, maybe Michael, maybe not. Thursday night, I had somebody, but he got a gig. Everyone keeps getting gigs, and they're mostly outside, which is cool. I have I have 2 gigs this weekend in Michigan and 1 gig in Illinois. 2 on Saturday, one in a garden, one in a at a this is weird, at a brewery that I used to teach yoga. It was a yoga studio, now it's a brewery. So I still kind of go strange. Anyway, that's Thursday. And then Friday morning, Armando. Friday night, Display and Share. Saturday morning, Jeff Metzger. Saturday night, Gary Lambert. Sunday morning, Alex Martinez. Sunday night, Poetry Glam. Come on, you guys. Y'all have at least one poem that you love to do. Just come on. Patty Loman is watching. Patty Loman is watching. Patty Loman is watching. Then Mondays I meander, and Monday night I meditate. Hey, hi there. Hello, lady. I miss you, my sister. And then Tuesday, today, we'll be doing some tapas and, cooking stuff with. Oh, I thought I was going all the way with Patty Loam. Once she gets situated in her new space, in her new kitchen. And then it's Tuesday nights. And what's been happening Tuesday nights for a long time now. So remember, September 24th, mark it on your calendars. I'm going to need all of you there for at least an hour to come hang out with me. Come on, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. But tonight, it's not September 24th. It is Tuesday, August 10th. And ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Andrew Rader. You want to compete on me? Okay.
I just have so much respect for the synchronous divers after this experience I just had with you, Jenna.
Oh, I know, right? That's so true. Melanie Demore, what's going on? Rob Morocco's Rob's here. William's here. The crew is here. The family is here. How are you?
Hey,
Brother?
you talking to me?
Oh, is that thing happening with your microphone?
No. Were you talking to me?
Yes,
Did
of
you?
course.
Oh, okay. Because I'm doing well. Um, as we all know, so far so good, and who knows what's coming.
What's next?
What's next? So uh your storm brought up, those lyrics from The Wheel, if the thunder don't get you, then the lightning will. And, we all know that lightning comes first and then the thunder. And if you are really geeky about it, you can count the seconds between the lightning and thunder and get some idea of how far away the lightning is. Yeah.
I know someone that's been struck by lightning twice.
Oh my God. You would. You wouldn't. Jeez. Actually, I met someone who is in 2 commercial plane crashes.
I know someone that's been in 3.
And survived.
Honestly, 3. I do. I really do.
I knew I would lose this competition.
I'm sorry. I was sitting next to a guy on a plane once. Now I don't mean to take over your story. I'll let you tell your story. But I was sitting on a plane once, and before we took off, this guy kept looking at his watch. And he's like, and he's counting. Finally, after like 10 minutes, I'm like, dude, what's the deal? He goes, well, I've been in 3 plane crashes. And usually they happen right during takeoff. So he knows like there's a certain amount of minutes that goes by. And yeah. And I've done 2 concerts for him. All right, tell us about your friend who's been in 2 crashes. Sorry.
Oh, this was years ago, and there's not much to say other than I think he also survived a few other health scares. He's one of those, 9 lives type of guys.
Do I know him?
No, no. It's not a friend. It was a patient, client.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you had any interesting patients lately? Any like more complicated kind of?
Um, well, food always brings up a lot of issues for folks. And as I've said many times, tobacco is so straightforward and so cut and dry and so black and white. Uh, but food is way more nuanced and tricky because we can't cold turkey food. We're always dealing with food.
Right, you need to have food.
You need to have
You
food.
don't need cigarettes, but you need food.
Absolutely.
So that's the thing. When someone has a food thing, do they come to you with, Andy, I want to quit eating
Well,
corn on the cornbread, and then do they come back the next week and they go, now I have a thing, and I've always had a thing for turkey bugles, chip.
I would be happy if they came with very specific uh, wishes like that. But usually it's more, I need to get in shape, I need to lose weight, I need to do something about my food. And so so we have to spend a little time digging in. And I usually ask if you could change one thing that would have the most bang for the buck, what would it be? And often for a lot of people, it's about eating at night. Like they can go all day and do a good job. They either eat breakfast, they don't eat breakfast, not a big deal. They're at work, not a big deal. Although I had someone who had a real problem at work because people were always bringing in
Oh,
candy,
that's why I
donuts,
like to
and
work around people.
crap. And it was right there, hard to avoid. But for most people, it's usually they get home at night and they want to kick back and enjoy themselves. And food is just one of those things that goes way back. Uh, in childhood, food is often either a punishment or a reward. So a
How
lot
could
of
food
stuff.
be punishment? Mine
Uh,
was, food is love in my family, but
yeah, well, it could be, all right, you're not going to go to your room without dinner, that kind of thing.
um, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's. I'm sure people know that one.
Okay, so then food. Okay, so here we are. It's late night. It's 11:30 for me. I
Yeah,
get done with the show. I'm
yeah.
hungry sometimes.
Yes, that's a problem when you go to bed late because if, well, look at different cultures. So if you're in Spain,
I
let's say,
pretend like I'm in Spain all the time.
yeah.
Except
So
I'm not making a bunch of food. I'm finding, I'll get something, but we're like it's like we're in Spain.
yeah, um, yeah, people stay up later but they'll have a period of time when they're down in the afternoon. I mean, I think it's changing a lot. Traditional siesta is not what it was 20, 30 years ago or more. Um, but people stay up late. And so if you eat a meal at 6 or 7 or even 8, and you're staying up past midnight, well, that's 4 hours where you're going to want to eat. You are going to want to eat.
And you don't want to eat salad.
No, no.
And I go, oh, I'm just gonna have a little soup, little something, and then I go, no, I think I want some cereal. Oh, but that peanut butter and that
Yeah.
I don't want to do carbs. I try to do protein, but yeah. So you guys, we all should we all get hypnotized for late night eating? I'm just
Well,
throwing it out there. Hey,
when if you had the experience where you go backpacking, you're out, and when the sun goes down, you don't really stay up that long after that. And so you can go to bed early, and then food's not a big problem because,
Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night hungry.
wow. Well, then the question is, did you wake up because you were hungry, or as soon as you woke up, you had the thought,
I think I wake up hungry.
wow.
Wow.
Well,
Wow, Jenna. Wow, that's bad.
you stumped me again.
And Julie likes bugles, and Patty says she gets cravings for junk. But what junk do you crave, Patty? That's the question. Bugles? And do you keep it in the house? See, that's the other thing. If you don't keep it in the house, then you can't eat it. But then
Right.
but then sometimes you think, well, maybe it's better to keep something in the house because then you'll just keep eating other stuff to try to satisfy that urge, craving. I wasn't going to say anything else. Chips or
Well,
chocolate. So
salt or
sometimes
sugar?
salt or sugar, carbs. Yeah, and chocolate is magnesium. So sometimes I get up and I drink Calm, my magnesium.
Oh, you mean the tea, herbal tea?
Well, Calm is it's a magnesium powder.
Oh, that doesn't sound appetizing
Well,
at
but
all.
it's soothing because it's magnesium. But
Okay,
no, I'd rather eat chips or chocolate too. That's more soothing.
yeah.
I usually go for the cheese or the fruit. If there's fruit, like if there's a banana, I'll have a little bit of banana and a couple of almonds or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, ideally, you have a long period of time, the whole intermittent fasting thing. I know it's a quote, a fad or a new thing, but it's an ancient thing. It's an ancient thing because humans didn't always know where the next meal was coming from.
Right.
So you could go a long time, but we were prepared for it. Our metabolisms were prepared to be able to deal with hours and hours, maybe sometimes days of not having a real solid meal. And there's something that happens to the metabolism where, resveratrol,
Mhm.
it when you're stressed that way, uh, the compounds that are put out are protective. They're helpful. And there's a lot to be said for mimicking how we've always been as humans. And when I say mimicking, have periods of fasting and have periods of a little bit of stress that way. It's good.
I
It's good
intermittent
to
fast. I
suffer
do.
a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like people are chips. Carol says chips, and Patty says chips. Carbs.
Yeah, I go for salt and carbs easily. I'm not a big fan of sweets, luckily. Sean's making sounds. But I tell you,
We heard that.
if you put a bowl of chips or fries and a cake, and I can only choose one, I'll go for the chips or fries easily.
There's the misleading sentence. If there's only a choice of one.
Well, the volume will be way towards the salt and the fat.
What kind of cake would you want to eat?
I'm not like, if I ate cake, it would be chocolate.
Chocolate.
Or you like all the stuff I make.
Yeah, but it's not my first choice by any means. I'd rather have, okay, if I'm really gonna lay it out there, I'd have a sausage or Nathan's hot dog, or forget dessert. I'll have, and I'm vegan. 95%. See, I reserve the 5% so I don't go nuts and don't, you know, go on a bender.
So would you if there was a piece of chocolate cake or a sausage there, you would go for the sausage?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I would have a grilled cheese. That would be my
Yeah. Yeah.
my off the. Yeah, if it's not in the house, you can't eat it. But you can also make something else. Pancakes, right, Lil?
Those are the simple carbs.
Right.
Those are the simple carbs. I mean, as a kid, I would come home and eat cereal.
Would you?
And,
I bet you'd eat like practically the whole box of cereal when you came home.
yeah, I could eat a pound of pasta. This is the old days. I couldn't eat that. But carbs, carbs, carbs.
Yeah, I remember that our um, triathlon friend who would sit there and weigh how many pounds of pasta he would eat in a week.
Oh, Dawn.
Yeah, he'd run like he'd bike like 130 miles and then he'd eat like 6 pounds of pasta.
Yeah.
Carb, 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 carb.
I
But
think that might be changing.
oh yeah,
Somewhat.
that's not a triathlon. They don't
They don't carbo load the
carb
way
load anymore. Mm-mm. Yeah, like I know, but I know that they don't because I've worked with. So what else is happening in the world of health, Andy?
Oh, well, I don't know. What could be happening in the world of health?
Have you have I mean, not too much has changed for us how we move in the world since last. Oh, eat a peach. I had 3 peaches today. I picked peaches today. Um, and I've eaten. Wait a second. I saw Nutella on the go. Was tempted to try it in Your Honor, but such a big box. Yeah, just pass on the Nutella. Just pass on the Nutella. Give it like there's more for Rob that way. Um, I don't know what I was gonna try to creatively lead into the
See,
variant and what's going on, but
yeah, ask a question and then I'll have to answer it. It's your show, Jim.
I don't have a question. Because I'm living kind of like I live a very small life.
So, what does it feel like um, where you are? Let's say if you go out to buy food at the grocery store, are people eating inside restaurants and acting as if everything's great and nothing's happening? And, yeah,
But in California, like in San Francisco, still eating in restaurants.
yeah. I don't know. I think eating indoors. So now most Bay Area counties, if not all of them, you have to wear masks indoors. So
Right.
how do you eat indoors with a mask?
Well, you walk in with your mask on, and then you
Yeah,
order your food with your mask on, and then you take it off, and then you put it back
yeah,
on, and then you take it
take
off
it
when your
off,
food gets there.
take it off. So it's, we're all giving a wink and a nod, like, okay, restaurants are an exception, but come on, the virus doesn't care if you're in a restaurant or if you're in REI or if, it doesn't care. And I think the mood is changing again. I don't think we're going to be on total lockdown the way we were a year ago. I think people are less in fear, and it's never good to be in fear, but you have to have a healthy respect for what this can do. And Delta is a bit scarier because it's knocking out younger folks.
Yeah, like children are in ICU units with they're
Yeah,
intubated.
yeah.
No joke.
And so then you get into oh, I am so fortunate for my realm, my kids are out of school. They're young adults, and then our little grandson, he's 3 months old. He's not in school. I can't imagine what's going through parents of young children, let's say under 12, because 12-year-olds and up, they can get vaccinated and they can wear masks, and they're manageable. But you can't have a kindergarten class of kids wearing masks. They're not going to wear their masks. They're going to take them off. They're going to have snotty noses. My sister-in-law is a first grade teacher, and she's starting next week. I haven't really contemplated that for her through her eyes. I don't even know if she's contemplated it yet.
Sure.
And then what's going to be like when she comes home at the end of the day. So these kids, because they're under 12, they're not vaccinated. What can I say? We're going to see some craziness in the next month beyond what we're seeing right now.
I think we're going to see it, and I think by October, November, it's going to get really crazy. And I think part of it is just going to be part of our lives.
Yeah. There's another respiratory illness going around hitting kids that's separate from COVID. It's an acronym, I can't remember. I should know. RIV. Maybe one of our listeners will know. Remember?
That's a question that Julie just asked. Andy, do you know where the variant names like Delta are coming from? Like there's Delta, now there's Lambda.
Yeah, it's kind of like the hurricane.
Right, but is it? But where does it? Because it went from Delta to
Well,
Lambda.
they're using the Greek alphabet, and I think Lambda might come after Delta in the Greek alphabet. I might bet money on it. I'm not 100% sure, but it would make sense. So that's what they're doing. Yeah.
So why do you say a month from now?
Because of school starting, of what's going to happen when school starts.
Do you know that Lakeport or Lake County is highest COVID rate in all of California?
Wow. I'm not shaken at it. I mean, it's not that surprising.
Why?
Um,
Why not Mendocino County? Why not, why Lakeport of all counties? Why do I keep touching my hair like that? I don't know. I'm sorry. It's not like it's windy.
Well, you spend time up there. What are the demographics?
Just I don't really. I hang out at home. I don't go out.
Oh, when you're at in Lakeport. You don't go out in the town and interview people or hang out. I just would imagine there's a larger percentage of people who probably are not vaccinated. That's the only explanation.
I don't know. They seem. I mean, everybody I know is vaccinated.
We could look it up, find out. But across the country, it's very clear who's in the hospital and who's sick.
Well, you know what's interesting about Louisiana? New Orleans was like one of the top in the like when the vaccines first started. New Orleans was like at the top of vaccinations. And now look at Louisiana.
As a state or
But as a city, New Orleans was like right at the top. And people have come from other states and other parts of New Orleans or Louisiana, and that's what brought the numbers up too. And the anti-vaxxers. Question what? Oh, do you know? Oh, and Rob just said it's insane for Edmonton and Alberta starting this week. You don't have to. Oh, that's right. If you have COVID and you're in Edmonton or Alberta, Canada, you don't have to quarantine. You don't have to wear a mask. It's just like whatever.
Yeah, like chicken pox parties. Um,
Julius, Greek is commonly used and commonly. Yep. And your school district in Michigan, they're fighting it. They went to the capital the other day, and they were fighting the vaccine and fighting the mask mandate.
yeah, those are the people who wanted to kidnap their governor.
But school districts in other parts of the country are not going to mandate masks in schools with kids.
Um, yeah, again, when you have very young children, masks are difficult. But certainly middle school and up, you can mandate masks. It's insane not to mandate masks. What? It's really insane not to mandate
RSV,
masks.
what you were trying to say, RSV, right?
Thank you.
Respiratory syncytial virus.
Yeah.
Syncytial?
Let me see. Syncytial.
Syncytial. It's a new word for me. Syncytial. Never read that word before. Okay. Some districts will require a doctor's note if unable to wear a mask. My 90-year-old mother has COPD. She can wear a mask.
Yeah. What kind of, who's unable to wear a mask? I mean, really. Would you, I mean, I always go back to, would you want your surgeon not to wear a mask? Why do surgeons wear masks? Or anyone in the operating room wear a mask? Why do they wash their hands? Would you want them to not do those things? It goes back to
Some children can't wear masks.
if they're very young. If they're very young.
No, I'm just saying. Julie said some children apparently cannot wear masks. And it makes no sense that a mask should be politicized, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
But I like Carl's point. Carl said there's no shortage of stupidity anywhere.
And again, if anyone spent time in Asia, masks have been
That's where I got my original masks.
common usage. Yeah, common usage forever. Cold season, flu season. You live in close quarters with other people. It's common courtesy not to be sneezing on them or coughing on them, so you wear a mask.
Are you going as your help? I can't talk tonight. Long day. Are you changing your practice? You're still meeting people in their cars?
A few. I was thinking, I'm going to be totally facetious here, that this whole COVID thing was a conspiracy from the mask making industry.
There you go. Mask and hand sanitizing.
Mask and hand sanitizing industry to boost sales. It's clear.
To put more plastic in the world.
Oh my God! When the archaeologists dig up our time, when you drive by wherever garbage is, the side of the road, side of the freeway, the masks are everywhere.
They're everywhere. I used to take photographs of them. I have a whole file in them. I understand that, Julie. Some autistic students have sensory issues and claustrophobic.
Okay, I would go with that. but
But I've had people say to me, I can't wear a mask. I can't wear a mask. Why? Because I just can't breathe with a mask on. Yes, you can.
yeah. I thank you for pointing that out. But they are how many kids out of 100, right? That have those particular sensitivities that really can't wear a mask.
Would you go if someone said, "Hey, why don't you guys come over for dinner tomorrow night?" and they invited you into their house? Would you go in the house for dinner?
No, I'd say let's eat outside.
Oh, Andy, it's too hot outside. It's nice and air conditioned in the house.
Yeah, fortunately, we don't have that. We can, if we're in the shade, we don't have the type of heat that the East Coast has or the Midwest.
Okay, so you're going to New York in 2 weeks.
I'm not really. You're suggesting it.
And just it's just
Yeah,
a you're going to New York in 2 weeks
yeah.
and you're staying in a hotel because you're not going to be around family. But then some of your family says, "Oh, we're having a party at your uncle's house on the Upper West Side in his apartment on the seventh floor."
On 72nd and Riverside Drive.
Right. I was thinking
Um,
more like 107th, but yeah,
boy, that would be hard. So I'd want to know who's going to be there. Are they vaccinated? If they're a bunch of old folks who've been vaccinated, I'd be okay.
What
I
if
would
they're not all vaccinated?
then I wouldn't be okay.
What do you think about now people like Michigan State has just announced, the state of Michigan has announced that state colleges that you need to be vaccinated, and now they're coming up with all these fake vaccine cards.
Well, kids know how to have fake IDs, so there's the ingenuity there. I'm really torn about the mandates. Um, in California, we always had let me give some history here of our history. Our kids didn't have vaccinations or very few. Um, the first one had polio, the two different types of polio, the Sabin and the salt. Um, maybe she had tetanus alone, not the mumps and rubella. Uh, um, so we've always been very cautious around vaccines in general, and we had the luxury to do that because the odds of getting polio in this country. Sean, please.
What is that?
She's looking at Instagram and
It's
some
a
crap
flood.
comes up.
Flood in
Oh,
Spain.
there's a flood in Spain, so
Oh
she's
yeah.
yeah. Let's get to that because this is too depressing. I want to talk about global climate change. So
Okay, yeah, let's talk about
lighten things up.
the floods
But
in Europe
first,
and fires all over the world. Yeah, cool.
at first, so we've always been very cautious around vaccines, and in California, we were able to have an exemption. It didn't have to be a religious exemption. It didn't have to be a medical exemption. You could just say, I don't want to do it, and I don't have to tell you why. And we were able to do that. We were able to get away with it. 3 or 4 years ago, no, actually 4 or 5 years ago,
Five,
there was
five or six.
whooping cough went through, and that was touch and go. And I said to our son, hey, if you want, you can get, because his school said if if one case of whooping cough comes to our school and you are not vaccinated, you cannot come to school.
Right, I remember that.
So he chose to play a little roulette with that, and he got away with it. And then in college, he went to a California state school, this California state system, Cal Poly, and he got away with not being vaccinated there because they just assumed if you went to a California high school, you were vaccinated.
Yeah,
So
because don't they, isn't that a requirement
it
in
is a
college?
requirement now. So he just went, he got lucky. He got lucky. And he's out, he graduated. So the idea that vaccines have not been mandated, vaccines have been mandated for a long, long time. Again, there are exemptions. Different states have different rules about it, but vaccine mandates have been around. I personally am torn about it. I feel that it's a sacred, your body is sacred and you have your own right to decide for yourself. I know and I'm talking about people who actually are not going off the deep end with crazy conspiracy theories, but people have legitimate concerns about the vaccines and they're reasoned. And for me, it's like the lesser of the evils. That it's not a great choice, but neither is COVID. And so I'm choosing the lesser of the evils here. And but it would be very hard to impose that on somebody else. I heard a medical ethicist talk about, well, everyone has the right to make those decisions, and at the same time, there are consequences for those rights. So if you choose not to be vaccinated, should you be allowed to go into a small room with a bunch of other people? If you work in a nursing home, and there are elderly people that are who are vulnerable, should you be allowed to show up to work if you haven't been vaccinated?
No.
Because it's your right to not be vaccinated, but should you also have the right to work in a facility where you're putting people at risk? So there are consequences. There should be consequences. Another consequence might be your medical premium, insurance premiums might go up. Because if you get sick, all the people who are now clogging up the ICUs, and I feel for them, but at the same time, they're clogging up the ICUs with unvaccinated people, and so there should be a consequence because it's a huge cost to society. Who's going to pay for that? It's just like when the seatbelt laws first came out in the 60s, and people are saying, I'm not going to wear, or the helmet laws came out with motorcycles. Unfortunately, we had a friend who he didn't have a head injury from a motorcycle crash, but he fell down a flight of stairs, basically he was in a vegetative state and never left, but he was alive. So he's a ward of the state. And who pays for that? We pay for that. So if somebody wants to ride a motorcycle without a helmet, they get incapacitated, we pay for that, right? I know I'm going out
No.
or out onto the lake. So yeah, let's talk about global climate change to lighten things up.
The second largest fire in California's history, raging on, not being.
Yeah, number one wants to be number one. There, and it's still August. It's not even the middle of August.
Yeah, it's the beginning.
So that report, that UN report that came out yesterday or the day before, I felt as if we didn't know it, but it was devastating.
I mean, I'm scared for people that are having children right now.
I know. I think about our 3-month-old and what's life going to be like. It's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine.
because it's not gonna. It's happening. It's happening now. I watched a I was part of a town hall meeting tonight with Pete and Buttigieg, and yeah, that's what I love
Look,
about it. He's so
Julie wants to talk about ice cream.
okay.
So there were two Berkeley High graduates who started, and you probably know them, Jenna, who started the vegan ice cream down at the bottom of Solano and in Emeryville. I know you know them, the Dewey brothers.
They're the Cohen brothers, actually.
Oh, well, it's Dewey ice cream.
Right, I know, but they're
Yeah,
Cohens. They're
the
not.
Cohen brother, Andrew and Adam.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I
my
dated
first
Andrew.
name's you dated Andrew. My first name's Andrew. My middle name's Adam, so I should remember that. So their ice cream's made out of cashews.
It's really good. I used to do taste testing with him when he was first doing that.
You know, you
He's still a
have
good friend of mine. We're good buddies. He's a musician friend. I knew him as a
I
musician.
know. What's the world according to Garp? Yeah, yeah. Garp has nothing over you. Oh, I got a story.
All right.
I had a patient. He passed away a long time ago from AIDS. He was Harvey Milk's lover in New York City for many years.
Wow.
And then they moved out here and broke up. While they were in New York, they were part of the whole Andy Warhol scene. And in that, they come out here. So he's Harvey Milk's lover. Then they break up. His next lover is the guy who pushed Sarah Jane Moore's hand as she was firing at Gerald Ford in front of the Fairmont Hotel.
Right.
Like that. Like every part of history. Oh, that was my ex-boyfriend. Oh, that was my.
Oh, thanks. And you're comparing me to that now?
Yeah, well, you trumped them all. Sorry, I don't want to use that word.
Well, you've known just a couple of people that I've dated actually. But yeah, Andrew Cohen, very nice person. Oh, the cashew ice cream is great. Come to Berkeley. We'll go to Albany and
If you go to Trader Joe's out here, and I'm sure it's true all over, you can't get cashews now, raw cashews.
right.
There's
Right.
a shortage.
Yeah.
Shauna said she just got them. Where? Trader Joe's?
So I
Oh,
bet
so-
they had a problem with their cat. I wonder if their cashew cream went up in price.
Well, yeah, it's the supply chain. Sometimes it's actually at the root of it, and something happened to the crop. But I think in this case, they were sitting on ships for months. You might want to check those.
What was that ice cream, Rob and Carol, that we both tried? Costco has cashews. Oh, Costco has cashews by the bag.
Oh, okay. So,
And Patty just bought cashews. So you're creating a rumor right now.
well, it was true for a couple of weeks. You
Right.
couldn't get them, and the manager said they're coming from the Philippines. Now somebody else I know who bakes and uses cashews a lot. She got hers through Canada, but they originated in Vietnam. So Vietnamese cashews maybe were easier to get for a while. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if on the Trader Joe's bags that you bought, if it says where they're from.
Oh yeah, it has to. It has to say.
Well, they
But
can say distributed in North Bergen, New Jersey.
no, they say that. They say distributed, and they say product of.
No, Rob just asked if they have Nutella. Rob, what was that ice cream that we both tried? It was made out of I've had bean ice cream, I've had cashew. But that was a weird one that we tried.
There's coconut
Coconut ice cream. A little too coconutty. Oh, Patty's cashews are from Thailand.
Yeah. Now you think about a business that depends entirely
On cashews.
on one food source. That's putting all your cashews in one basket,
Do you
right?
know what else they owned?
No.
Um, I can't think of it now. What's the hot dog place up by your campus?
Top Dog?
Top Dog, yeah.
They own Top Dog?
Yeah.
Not from way back.
They own the Top Dog up in Montclair. No, not way baby. But a friend of mine, Jeremy's, worked at Top Dog for over 40 years.
Which one? The one in Durant?
The one on Durant. He's been there for over 40 years, like 43 years he's worked at Top
Oh
Dog.
my God. You must have a layer of fat. Like you
No.
just take something and
He's
scrape it off his
super
skin.
lanky and super healthy, and yeah, he's worked there since he was in high school. So might be longer than 40 years now, but I saw him in the last, well, I think, oh yeah, last year. I saw him 2 years ago.
Wow.
So Thailand cashews. Yeah, I'm sure the Cohen brothers figured out their Thailand or their cashew connection. The cashew connection.
Cashew connection.
I'm into Yonanas. That's all I need.
What do you need?
Yonanas. I like the Yonanas.
Oh,
Way up. Yonanas, like what you have. Yonanas, how we make banana ice cream.
oh, I never called it that.
That's what it's called.
Just frozen bananas squeezed through a musher.
Julie's gonna have a dish of mocha almond fudge ice cream. Dream Pops. Dream Pops. It's not so great. Yeah, you guys don't even try them. Sorry. I tried them. They're still in my sister's freezer. Or they may have thrown them away by now. Yeah, Dream Pops. They weren't so great. Just buy a Yonanas, because it's hard to do it in a Vitamix. It's much better in the Yonanas machine.
The world today is very interdependent, and that's what might save us all. I believe the more business connections we have, the more interdependent we are, the less likely for a major war.
Mm. I like your thinking.
I mean, even now, you look at, the trade war with China. We could harm each other in so many different ways. Like they own our debt, or they own a large part of our debt, but it's like, if you owe or someone owes you a little bit of money, you own them. But if they owe you a lot of money, they own you.
Right.
So they own all this US dollar debt. If our economy tanks, then what happens to their investment? It doesn't do very well. So we have to prop each other up for our own selfish interests, right?
Oh, you were talking about Toastmasters.
Yeah.
How did it go last week? I think you were
Oh,
speak.
yeah, I did speak. What did I speak about? Did I? Because I'm giving another talk. I can briefly tell you what I am going to talk about.
Tell us what you're going to talk about.
Because I do habits. So there's something called the 5-second rule. And a woman named Mel Robbins. Does anyone know Mel Robbins? She's a motivational speaker. I think she even has either her own YouTube channel or her own show. But she came up with this great idea, or if she didn't come up with it, she popularized it. It's called the 5-second rule, and it doesn't have anything to do with dropping food on the floor. It has to do with procrastination and being able to get past this part of you that prevents you from doing things that are a little bit uncomfortable, but will really move you ahead in your personal life or in your business life. So for instance, let's say you have a habit of getting hooked into Netflix and the next episode comes on and it's 10:30 at night and it's a 40-minute episode and you know you really should get to bed, but
Come on, one more.
one more. So here's the trick. Here's the technique. As soon as you have that thought of what would be the best thing, you have 5 seconds or less to act on it. Because after 5 seconds, there's a part of your brain that's saying, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to. It doesn't feel good. And that goes way back in our neurology, in our evolution, because when we were hunter-gatherer scavenger, if you had a feeling of, I don't know, I don't like this situation, it would be better to not act on it, right? Hey, I feel like running across this field of tall grass. It'd be fun. Well, there's a part of your mind that says, well, there could be a lion. You probably shouldn't do it. That part saved our asses, right? So nowadays, in modern times, that part that's inhibiting us, it's inhibiting us from things that would actually make our lives better. Like going to bed earlier and not watching that next episode. Or, hey, I should probably not go to the kitchen right now and make myself a snack. If you don't act in the next 5 seconds against that, you're probably going to get the snack. So here's how it works. You have this initial impulse, usually towards a beneficial goal. Count down backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then act in that positive direction, even though you don't want to. You have that brief moment, that brief window to do something in that direction. If it's something short and sweet, like return an email or return a text or make a phone call, you can just do that immediately. If it's a larger project, then just chunk it down and do one thing in that direction that will move you a step closer.
Makes sense.
So 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn the power off button on the controller.
What are you watching right now?
Oh, as soon as we finish here, the White Lotus.
How far into it are you? Like 3, 4, 5. How many?
I think there's 6 episodes and we're on the 4th.
Yeah, I'm on the 3rd right now. And I started watching it last night and I fell asleep and then I woke up and I was watching it again. I'm like, Jenna, just go to sleep.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it.
I think it's goofy, but I like the characters.
Yeah, it's a farce, and it's commentary on white privilege and it's really done well. The music, okay, if I'm just talking about the music itself, just in terms of listening to it,
I haven't even thought about the music.
the music makes it. The music is incredible, and at the same time, I think it's insulting as well. So, because it's a mashup of what white people think tropical music is about. It takes place in Hawaii, but they're doing African type themes and Latin type.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's a white nightmare music.
Well, it's
Uh,
one of those what do you call it? Um, all inclusives.
yeah, but if this were done by a native Hawaiian, I, they have license to do what they want. But this was a Dutch. Uh, his name is Dutch, but he lives in Canada. I don't know his whole personal history.
Canada.
Uh, that's a little uncomfortable, but at the same time, it's really well done.
It's a weird show. It's interesting. I started watching it a couple weeks ago, and then because my friend Tom and Wendy were watching it. And they're like, oh, White Lotus. And I go, oh, that's where I trained. That was one of my first yoga teacher training was at White Lotus in Santa Barbara. So I liked the name. And then I didn't watch it. And then I started to watch it the other night and thought, it's fun. And good for you, Julie. Julie's more of a reader. She's like, just one more page 3 hours later.
Yeah, somehow one more page is, it's not a 45-minute commitment. Or um, and yeah, and if you're lying down reading a book, you're much more likely to just fall asleep than you're watching this thing on a screen. But I wish I were more hooked on reading, and getting into a really good novel is a great pleasure, especially a page turner.
Yeah, I haven't I've been reading not page turners lately. I've been reading more informational
Yeah, nonfiction.
nonfiction, but more business kind of stuff. So not even I'm like blah. But
I
well,
hear music. I hear the music.
oh, that was my friend texting me.
Oh,
Um,
that's my alarm sound.
are you really the chimes?
Well, that's for my timer.
I love the chimes. Makes me happy. Except sometimes they go on when someone texts and texts and texts. They go on and you can't text while they're chiming.
Oh,
And I had a very strange thing happen in my texting world. I'm a voice texter, and all of a sudden my microphone was gone. Gone, girl. Like, gone. I'm like, what happened to my. So I had to go in and look around, and then I YouTubed it, couldn't figure it out. And then my friend Sybil and I were sitting there yesterday going, check this, do this, try this, do this. And I found it. But are you around next Tuesday night?
yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
By the way, any glitch, the first thing you should always try for any computer glitch, phone glitch, you know what it is?
Turn it off.
Yes. Shut everything down, turn everything off, start over.
I turned it off like 3 or 4 times. But it was so weird because when I went in and found it, they were both turned off. Predictive text and the microphone were turned off. I didn't go into the settings and turn them off. But
Sometimes when there are updates, weird things happen too.
it was
Oh, so tomorrow, my sister's birthday, we're going to be in Berkeley outside, and so Shauna won't be able to.
I kind of figured she was busy because Shauna's back to work too. Um,
Yeah. But I'll be here next week.
well,
Thank you.
happy birthday, and you're going to be outside.
Outside,
Cool. Well, have a
backyard.
blast.
We'll bring down jackets because it's Berkeley in the summer.
It's cold over there right now. Yeah, everybody's talking about this heat wave, and I was talking to someone in San Francisco that today they're like, no, it's actually kind of cold.
Well, yeah, that's the Bay Area.
Fresno's going to be 106 to 108 for the next 5 days.
Unbelievable.
But Seattle, Washington's been really hot too. But the Bay Area's been super temperate, moderate, kind of groovy like it is. Thank
Well,
you,
again,
Andy.
depends
Depends on.
how close you are to the gate and the fog, and it could be 100 degrees in San Rafael and 50 degrees in Mill Valley,
Right.
right?
That's why when I was in Willits, I liked to go over to the coast because it could be 108 and then it would be 45 or 50 in Mendocino.
Yeah.
It's the best. I love that feeling. It's, hi, Lily and Pearl. You're a good girl. She's all chill now.
See you next time.
See you next time. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Andy Rader, everybody. I know. Oh, I forgot to ask him for it. I'm sorry. Dun, 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 dun. I meant to ask him for a letter. So, it says 3 of you are here right now. Thank you, Dr. R. It's always cooler in Dinky Creek, right? I think I will take the letter tonight, and it will be S for Shauna because she's sweet and so right. And I will just say, stay safe, stay healthy, be real nice, be like Shauna and Dinky Creek, you know it's out of sight. And your thoughts, I hope they're soothing thoughts. And your words are full of surprise. And your heart is something I can't think of. A word for your heart that begins with an S. So I will just sit here until there comes rest. But I will know more about Lily and Pearl. Something about 15 to 20 degrees. It's always cooler in Dinky Creek. Have a great night, Carol and Rob. Mama Grace, I love you so well. And William D, and Julie Luce, and Patty's 3. Thank you all for listening to. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for being such a surrounding heart of community. Love hard. Really, really